Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'd like to dive right into a conversation about the brand new DJI Mini SE. Now, I know the drone hasn't been released yet. It hasn't even been announced, but there have been a ton of rumors, a ton of leaks. We've gotten a ton of phone calls and a ton of emails. So that's like 4 tons worth of stuff, and I have to pay attention to that level of excitement. So I thought, let me sit down, do a little investigation. I've been thinking about this for quite a while, especially in the sub 250 category, and I've talked about it a little bit before on the channel. But before I get too deep into the conversation, this is all speculation on my part. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, you know that occasionally I get lucky and DJI will contact me before they release a product and they'll say, hey, we've got a new secret project coming out. Do you want to be part of it? And I say, sure, I'd love to be part of it. And they send me an NDA agreement. I sign it. I send it back. They ship me a product and I can review the product well before it's released. Well, I'm not involved in this one. So if DJI is watching, get the NDA agreement to me right away and I'll stop speculating. But anyway, I'm going to talk about it based on all the rumors I've seen, all the leaks that are out there. But more importantly, I don't want to repeat the stuff that everybody else is talking about because it should be pretty common knowledge now what the specs look like. What I'd rather do is explain what the drone is, where it fits, who might buy it, and more importantly, why is DJI doing this? Because I've seen a lot of people talking about it already, and they're thinking, DJI's crazy, what are they doing releasing this drone? I think they're brilliant, and I'll tell you why when I get a little bit deeper into it. So anyway, this is all speculation. I have no inside information, but I've done a lot of homework looking at this drone, looking at the technology, the advancements that are coming along, but more importantly, the market that DJI is trying to get in with this drone, I think is going to be explosive. And I've talked before about gateway drones. I have a Tello right here. I think that was a gateway drone for a lot of people because it provided a drone that somebody could buy for $100 and get the same enjoyment as flying a more sophisticated drone inside their home. Now, I've got also a Mavic Mini in front of me and a Mini 2. And that should come into play when I start talking about this brand new Mini SE. So anyway, let's start with the specifications. If you haven't seen them already, it's a 1/2.3 inch sensor. It'll shoot 2.7K and it'll also take 12 megapixel pictures. It'll fly for 30 minutes. It'll fly 2.5 miles. Now you notice I didn't say 4,000 meters there. And I think that's an interesting clue. So 2.5 miles is a US specification. Everybody else in the world uses meters, and pretty much DJI and every drone they've released has been meters, 4,000 meters, 8,000 meters, 10,000 meters. This new drone, the SE, is going to fly 2.5 miles, which really, to me, indicates that it may be a US-specific drone at start, but we'll see where that goes. Anyway, it does that. The other thing that's interesting about it is it's not an OcuSync 2 drone. This one wasn't either. This was an enhanced Wi-Fi drone. That's the Mavic Mini. The OcuSync 2 came in with the Mini 2. So it's got, if you think about it, the exact same specifications as the Mavic Mini. So what's the difference? I couldn't find one. There isn't an enhanced version of it. It doesn't fly further. It doesn't fly longer. It can't do tricks. It uses the DJI Fly application. It also provides Bluetooth connectivity, which this one had over here to do the fast transfer of your photos and your videos. So it is, in some ways, kind of a hybrid moving towards the Mini 2, but it's almost exactly the same as the original Mavic Mini. So I'm thinking, if I'm DJI, why would I come out with a drone that's the same as one drone I've already got in the market space? Well, think about this and follow me on it. The Mini 2 came out about $599 for the Fly More combination. And by the way, if you're going to buy these drones, try and get the Fly More combination if you can, because you're getting a whole lot of extra stuff in the Fly More combination that you're going to end up buying anyway a week after you have the drone, like extra batteries and a charging hub and a case and extra propellers, all that stuff you're going to need. So I'm going to compare the prices for the Fly More combo. About $599 here. The Fly More combo here is $499. The interesting thing, these are sold out on the DJI website. I wonder why that is. Think about it a second. They've got the market sewn up for the under 500 range. 500, 600, they've got the Air 2S above it at around 900, so they're definitely in that space. But if you walk through any department store, you go to Best Buy, you go to Walmart, you go to Kmart, wherever you shop, walk through the aisles and look at the drones. You're going to see shelves full of drones that are sub $300. Now, the Tello product was kind of an interesting one because it was a collaboration between Rise and DJI. So there's Intel technology in there, there's DJI flight controller information in there, and Rise built this for $100. It's still selling today, and people that are asking me, should I get into the hobby? What am I going to fly? Buy this drone to start. It's a wonderful drone. For $100, you can't go wrong, but that's at the low end of the spectrum. So when you think about these two drones, $499, $99. There's a huge gap between those. So if you just think in basic math terms, this one is $499. That's $100. Add those two together, $600. Average that. Something belongs here at around $300. And I think DJI looked at the market and they said, we can't really sell the Mini anymore because the Mini 2 came out. We've probably got the molds made for this. We've got the technology nailed for this. What we need to do is re-release this as a new drone that's less expensive to capture this market. Because again, there are a ton of competitors in this space. A lot of them are no-name competitors that I've never heard of before, and they don't do a lot of cool stuff. Maybe they're GPS coordinated, but they've got fixed gimbals on. They don't actually move a gimbal around. Well, the new Mini SE has a 3-axis gimbal. Again, just like the Mini 2. The Mini. So pretend for a second that this is the brand new DJI Mini SE. All the stuff you're getting here at a lower price means that that gap, which DJI isn't really playing in right now, is going to be a place they're going to dominate. And one thing I know about DJI, if they're looking at a market segment, they like to innovate. So they've come out with a lot of new products and they're really innovators in a lot of ways, but they're also a market capture company where they want to start focusing on elements of the market that they don't dominate today. And that gap between the 100 and the 500, right there in the sweet spot, is where that Mini SE is probably going to fit. Now, I don't have any pricing information on it, but if I were betting the under over here, I would say that that drone's going to come in $249, $299, and it's going to be a complete kit. So it's not going to be the fly more. It'll probably be the drone, a battery, a controller, the cables you need to charge it, the cables you need to connect to your phone, and that's it. But for $300 or less, getting a Mavic Mini that you can, if you're a new flyer, put this thing up in the air and just enjoy the beauty of flight with a drone that's easy to control. It's got return to home features. It's got the DJI Fly app with all the whiz-bang features of circling you and flying away and zooming up in the air. You're buying a high quality drone in that sub 300 range. I think it's a brilliant move on DJI's part. Now, I know a lot of people are going to look at it and they're going to yawn because they're going to say, there's nothing innovative about it. It's just the same drone in a different package. Yeah, it is. But if they can somehow package it and mass produce it for under $300, that opens up a wide market that they don't own today. So the people that are looking to buy a drone that don't want to go 500 but want something better than a $100 drone, they're going to fit right in that space. So again, they're going to dominate that space. Another thing that matters is this sub 250 weight limit is extremely important because in the US, there are a lot of people, I don't know why, that don't want to register a drone. They're worried about Big Brother tracking them and knowing where they are and all the rest of that stuff. I get that. I get if you're a big freedom proponent and you're thinking, I don't want anybody tracking me. I don't want to know where the drone is. Fly a drone that's under 250 and nobody has to know about it. You don't have to register it. It's not under the remote ID rules. So you can put a drone like this up and you can fly it anywhere you want, not in an NFZ and not beyond visual line of sight, but you don't have the same restrictions you have with larger drones, especially in other parts of the world, because if you go to Europe, you go to Asia, a lot of countries there really limit what you can fly. And if you're under the 250, there's a lot less restrictions about getting licensed and getting tested and all the rest of that. So this category, the under 250 gram category, I said this a couple of months ago, is going to explode. There's a Husqvarna Mini Pro coming out. Now I've got one of those ordered. I'm going to review it on the channel. That's sort of a Mavic Mini 2, or I should say Mini 2 on steroids, because it's got a 4K camera, 60 frames a second. It's got similar distance. It's got a longer flight time. Has crash avoidance in it. I think it even has a follow me mode. So I'm going to be reviewing that one. So DJI is looking at this market thinking, this is great because we don't have to worry about remote ID. We've got a lot of buyers that are willing to spend less than $600 for a drone. We got them covered with the Mini 2. This one is kind of in a weird place because again, for $100 less, you wouldn't want to buy a Mini. You might want to buy one secondhand, but you're not going to buy this new when you can buy this for $100 more. So this product has to fit into that category. Now, I fully expect when the SE hits, and let's say it's $249 or $299, this one's at $599 with the Fly More combination. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a Mini 3 coming out that'll rival what the Husqvarna Mini Pro, I think they're calling it, is going to be doing. So I expect there'll be a Mini 3 coming that'll be a little better than this, that'll fit in that niche between the Air 2S and the Mini 2. It'll fit right in the middle of those two, probably $699, $799. That'll have some kind of obstacle avoidance built in. It'll probably have OcuSync 3 on it. It'll have all the whiz-bang features that you're used to with the Air 2S, but let's not get diverted to that. So the SE fits right here, and I think from a marketing perspective, DJI's looked at this market and said, we've got this market sewn up in a lot of ways. We don't have this market sewn up. So how do we build a drone there with similar specifications at a lower price? And they're going to do something with the Mini frame, the airframe, and the technology behind it to get it down there. Now, a couple of things I've seen online that I think are wrong. If you look at some of the leaks that are out there, you can see the actual product card. I guess somebody goofed at Walmart and they actually got a picture of the product card, which wasn't supposed to be released yet, which means I think the release is imminent. They're going to have it out soon. But anyway, that product card talks about this product with a remote controller. If you look at the flip side of it, if you've seen the leaks, it's got this controller on that card. It doesn't have this controller on the card. And a lot of the rumors out there and a lot of the channels are saying, oh, it's a Mavic Mini with the new controller, with the Gen 2 controller. I don't think that's the case. I think you're going to see the Mini SE with this controller because, again, if DJI's got extra stock on what I'll call the Gen 1 controller, they're going to want to push this out through that SE channel. They're going to want to sell it that way. So I expect you'll see the Mini SE with this controller, not the bigger controller. But it doesn't really matter to me because that enhanced Wi-Fi is a bit of a limiting factor because it's really a 2.4, 5.8. I think it's a single frequency. Again, I don't have the specs on it yet, but let's say it's a single frequency Wi-Fi connection. It's enhanced, which means it may jump around the band a little bit, but it's not pure OcuSync, which is really Martian technology. The OcuSync technology for the transmission schema is brilliant, and that's why you can get, 6 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles out of a drone. Enhanced Wi-Fi, you're kind of limited to the 4,000 meter or the 2.5 mile distance. But again, you're not going to fly a drone this small that far away. You shouldn't anyway because there's visual line of sight restrictions. But even if you went crazy and decided to fly it over the mountain, if you get it too far away from you, the wind's going to catch it and take it. So hopefully they've improved the technology a little with the SE, but I think the entire gist of what they're trying to do with this new technology is to build a drone that fits here comfortably. And again, I'm betting $249, $299, somewhere in that price range. Now, I've got a lot of the clips I've started talking about the basics for the Mini 2 that also apply to the Mini. So if you haven't seen those, tune into the channel. I'm going through all the basic things you need to know about this drone. But if you're in the market for a drone, you couldn't have picked a better time to jump into the hobby because there's so much technology coming out. I think this Mini SE is going to be the perfect drone for new flyers that want to get into the hobby and get a decent drone that they can fly that's got all the features of some of the bigger drones. Maybe not as good a camera, maybe you can't fly as far, it doesn't fly as long, but it gives you everything you need to really enjoy this hobby, I think at a really reasonable price. So keep an eye on that. Now, I also have clips coming out talking about the Mini 3 that I think is going to be hitting soon. And again, I have no NDA information, so DJI, if you're watching and you want me to stop talking about this, send me an email and let's get under NDA. So if I stop talking about this tech, you'll know I'm under NDA. But for now, I can speculate to my heart's content. So again, Mini SE, I think it's going to be a Mini with some reduced pricing on it. Probably same features you got on the Mini. Well, we know that for sure. And I think there's a Mini 3 coming that'll rival the Husqvarna Mini Pro. And I think DJI, again, is so clever in their marketing. They wait for a company to pre-announce a product, and they've got shelves full of stuff they're working on. So we talked about the Mavic 3 a while ago. They've got shelves of stuff just ready to launch, maybe even in a box someplace in a stock room. And when Husqvarna comes out with the Mini Pro, I'm sure DJI is going to go, no problem, we got a Mini 3, launch the Mini 3. So it's going to be a good summer for sub 250 gram drones. Anyway, that's it for today. I went on way too long about it already. If you've got any questions, or better yet, if you've got inside information you want to send me, hit the links below, send me an email, rick@dronevalley.com, or just drop a comment below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I love doing these kind of clips. And again, the beauty of an NDA is I'm in on some of that stuff before it releases. The downside to an NDA is I can't do these speculation clips. And I like thinking from an engineering perspective about what they're going to possibly do with a new drone. And more importantly, where that drone fits in the marketplace, because just building cool technology doesn't really work. You've got to build something that consumers want. And I think this Mini SE is going to hit the mark. The price is right, the technology's right, and it's way better than all the drones that are in that segment today, just based on its specifications alone. So stay tuned, because if I get my hands on one, I'll be reviewing it here on the channel the minute I get it, and I'll go through all the technology and help you understand exactly if it's the right drone for you or not. But anyway, that's it for today. Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear from you about what you think is going to happen with this new drone, or really anything about technology. And I've got a lot more clips I'm working on, so if you haven't subscribed to the Drone Valley family yet, hit that button down there and join us, because you don't want to miss any of the clips that are coming out, and we're going to be covering a lot of cool tech. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks an awful lot for watching. I got to get back to my emails and try and respond to people that are asking questions about all this technology. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy flying.